The crypto space is as crazy as ever. And over the past couple of days, I've been receiving a ton of questions about some of my top coins. But today, I won't talk about just any top coin. No, I want to specifically talk about some top coins in a specific sector that I'm really excited about, and that is the real world assets. We've talked about it a lot in the near past with regards to BlackRock joining the tokenized asset game and them talking about everything in the real world, or at least everything from stocks or whatever, being tokenized at some point. You know, all that story we can relate back pretty easily to that the tokenization of things are going to be doing pretty well as this narrative picks up and people go away from some of these more hyped up projects to some more longevity related projects. And I guess that's also why we saw a massive pump on these real-world asset cryptocurrencies over the past few days. It's because people are very much looking into what the next trend might be. Just now it was AI. On the side, it is still meme coins, but I think the next one could be RWA. So just a simple search on CoinMarketCap brings us to the sector, and there comes a problem. There are a lot of different coins right here. Many of them which I hold, many of them which I'm extremely bullish on, many of which are, I think, extremely garbage. And there comes one of the more difficult problems here with RWA, which is it's a pretty broad spectrum of what consists of a real world asset type of crypto. For example, one of the recent discussions I had was about Soil. It was a coin we talked about a while back that's already done extremely well, but just see the text right here. Soil is a fully regulated DeFi protocol that gives secure returns on stablecoins backed by real world assets. So it's a debt marketplace where established companies can obtain financing and crypto investors can lend their stablecoins to earn yield derived from real world assets that exist off chain. I think that this is one of the traditional examples of a real world asset type of crypto. But in this little text, we noticed a couple of very important parts. To facilitate any sort of transfer between the blockchain and the real world, you're going to need oracles. And if you have no idea what they are, just over here at the top in the real world asset sector, we've got Chainlink. Now, why is Chainlink in there? It's because Chainlink, one of their key features is that they take real world data and make sure it's accurate and, well, usable on the blockchain. And when we're talking about real world assets, I think we have to really start at the basis of all that, talking about, well, to even remotely work with real world assets, we need oracles, we need projects or protocols that are able to bring that real world data onto the crypto stuff, of which Chainlink, I think, is the biggest right now. And thus, with this sector only getting more and more huge, I think would also only keep growing. But now that that's out of the way, one of the coins I'm really excited about is called TokenFi. I explained why earlier in a video talking about Floki and why memes are not just memes, but anyway, ever since I made that video, the price of TokenFi has done well, I think I made the video the price has exploded since we talked about it last. And it's getting a lot of attention in the top 5 yada 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 RWA type of categories. Why is that? Well, if you scroll to the bottom here and ask yourself, what do they do? TokenFi aims to simplify the crypto and asset tokenization process and eventually become the foremost tokenization platform in the world. Whether or not they can do that, guys, we shall see. But the point is, people seem to believe they've got a shot because that's why the price is done so amazing. People think, which coins in the RWA sector should I get into? A lot of people are pointing towards TokenFi. And so it's got that hype, it's got that momentum. And the way I personally like my cryptos is hyped up, exciting. And so I'm not telling you that this is the only crypto that could ever do it, because perhaps BlackRock comes out with another version and does it better. Sure. But I'm saying people have chosen TokenFi for its purpose. It's been working out beautifully. And since the hype is only getting started, it would make sense for this graph to look even more exponential in the near future. Now, to kind of step away from the already launched coins for just a little second, there's actually also one project that I've really got my eyes on that has not, I believe, even hit the markets just quite yet. It's called Casu. And I'm just saying, perhaps give this one a follow, perhaps leave this in the back of your thoughts a little bit, because I'm not so sure how quick the process is going. But I remember a long time ago, I talked to you guys about this project, and they've still been building. But perhaps the moment that they launch, they could actually make a massive dent in the whole RWA industry as one of the most hyped up projects. But all I can say, I slammed my microphone. All I can say about that is we'll see. Because right now, the hype is not too crazy just quite yet. But when I first heard about it, I saw some really good signs. And that was before RWA was very hot. But it means they've been building and not just doing it for the name. Could be a big one. Keep it on your radars. Having said that, there was actually another one which you most likely have seen on some big crypto channels in the near past, like for example Lingo, gamified RWA powered rewards token for the next billion in Web3. I honestly think the moment that this one launches, because it's kind of the opposite of what I just said, it is going to be one of the most hyped launches because everybody seems to be talking about it for a good while here. And they've been doing a lot of amazing stuff, similar to Estate X, which I've only been hearing good things about in the near past. Again, these ones have got a lot more hype. That doesn't always mean they're going to become the best results though, but even though they're getting hype in my circle, you might have never heard about them. And these are just 3 of the projects coming up that I'm pretty excited about that have not even hit the market yet, I think. Sometimes they launch without me noticing, you know? Anyway, if you've been around for a couple of years, you would have probably seen me talk about prop chain as well. I think at like 80 cents or something at the start of the start. It doesn't even show up here on CoinMarketCap, but the price was, it might have been $1, but it was significantly lower than where it is today. In my opinion, the price has just skyrocketed to absolute proportions, which is beautiful to see. But seeing as if the RWA sector hasn't really even caught on just quite yet, there's still a lot of room for growth. I think that prop chain is also in a really good position for some crazy future growth. Just so you can see right here, blockchain ecosystem for real world assets and prop tech solutions. And that's all just to name a few. I mean, there's also massive ones like, for example, Polyhedra, which is already at 3.5 billion fully diluted, which I still think will actually go towards 8 at least. So, you know, if you have tons of money, these are cool plays because I think it's still relatively undervalued. But if you are looking for your next 100x gem, obviously it's not going to be as easy with a project this massive already. It just launched really recently, I think like last week or so. Yeah, just right around the corner last week. Still very cheap though. And you can just quickly read for yourself. Here, Polyhedra further expands the ZK bridge protocol to a general ZK interoperability protocol, which also empowers interoperability between Web 2 and Web 3 applications and helps to onboard real world assets to Web 3. Theoretically speaking, one of the biggest in the game already, but of course we take a look at current market cap and not so much as the fully diluted one. But anyway, when I start like making a video like this, I quickly think of another 20 projects or so that I think could be really hot for the season. And that's the most important thing to understand for you guys. We don't really know for certain which one is going to pop off. So the way I usually go about it is I research a very large field of different cryptocurrencies. You then narrow it down to a still slightly too large of a list, at which point you might actually already put some money into different projects. You might kind of wait for the market to kind of show itself, because there's a very big difference between trying to buy something early, trying to predict the next trend like we were doing quite recently with RWA, or to, once the trend is there, go for whatever's hottest. And right now, I think less money spread out further goes a better way than very hyper focused on just a few coins, because again, BlackRock is joining the game. The massive huge index funds are going to be joining this game. You don't know what their crypto of choice is going to be. Perhaps it's one that doesn't necessarily hold the RWA handle as much, but mostly just in the form of a DeFi protocol, for example. Just like how I mentioned Chainlink at the start being an oracle, yet crucial to the sector, there are many DeFi protocols out there, like we talked about at the start here with Soil, where you can definitely see the RWA in it, but it might not be as direct as others. And also understand that this sector is still up and coming. Ondo had some crazy pumps quite recently, even though when you look at the about section, you might ask yourself, what exactly makes it an RWA? Well, you usually find out as you do a little bit more research. Just give it some time. It's a very interesting sector. And I'll see you guys again, hopefully very soon, as RWA pops off and goes absolutely crazy. And let me know down below what your favorite RWA cryptocurrency is, because there's probably a ton out there that I don't even know about that I need to research, as we're still early, guys, to this whole sector. We still have time, but just start orienting is the most important thing that I could say.